watch, bitch.
Oh my god. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. I don't know if that shit intro played properly. I have no idea if it even played properly. I know that it took ages for me to try and find it to make it work. It did work. I've just checked it. That was made about a few months ago by Ade Thompson of Ade Thompson and Other Disappointments. that was seamless, wasn't it? Absolutely seamless. Right, okay. I don't know if you can tell from my thumbnail tonight, but I put together that thumbnail and the entire concept for tonight's stream in about 15 minutes this evening. It was a bedtime thought that I had the other day, where I've thought about it a lot actually over the years, regarding the unreal reality that we find ourselves in nowadays, which is increasingly terrifying. And I had a misspent youth. I'm going to level with you. I had quite a misspent youth. That might come as a surprise to some of you. I never personally did DMT. For those that are joining the channel tonight, I've not gone full conspiracy theorist, and I'm not a mash-up on drugs. So just to put that out there. But they used to talk about like the time lapses that they'd get when they'd do DMT. And DMT is the chemical that you can make synthetically, but it's also what's released in bucket loads when you die. So it's an intense chemical that's produced like in the body. Tiny amount of it is produced when you sleep. You get a hit of it for a short time when you dream, and then when you smoke it. And then you also get it dumped into your body in the bucket loads when you die. And I've had discussions with my hippie friends about how, like, they don't know that they don't know they're tripping. That's how, like, intense the trip is. And it started making me wonder, like, did we all die? Like, I've got to the point of burnout, I think, where I'm just thinking, did we all die? In, like, why not 2020, you know? Because that was about as mental as you could possibly get. And there was a kind of a train of thought that you can feel like you're living a lifetime in a few seconds, you know, on something like DMT. So you could technically not even know you're dead. And it messes with my mind thinking about stuff like this. It's like thinking about space, you know. When you think about space and you're like, oh, it's so massive. It's so fucking massive. And DMT is like what they call like the death and the sleep chemical, really. But people can synthetically create it. But like any drug, your body wouldn't be able to absorb it unless you already had the receptors in you to react to it, like cannabinoids or whatever. So, but then I've also been thinking a lot about, you know, how things haven't really been the same since people started fucking with the Higgs boson. You know, that wasn't probably a great idea. Because people talk about the, you know, I didn't see it as a symbol of national pride necessarily. But they talk about the 2012 Olympics, you know, culturally being quite an important moment, and how things just gradually descended from there. But I think this is what happens when I have been, as I have the last couple of days, been really deep diving like the broverlords, the broligarchy, like all of that tech shit, which is terrifying, like the ideology that they're all subscribing to. And I've also written a piece about democracy, which led me to think back about how, like, we've all been in a state of just kind of like perpetual burnout for ages, like just an endless loop of insanity. And I was like, well, you know, it's not that mad a theory, is it? Because the dead internet theory has pretty much come true now. As Gabrielle said, dreams can come true, but also so can nightmares, apparently. So I love how it's getting really deep in the conversation here. Pete Q60 is like, does consciousness exist? The Origins of Consciousness is a really good book if you're interested in this kind of thing, because humans haven't always been, you know, fully conscious beings. Like, there was many years when we were not conscious, like, and that's where, like, you know, they started thinking that, like, natural shit was messages from gods and shit, you know, because they didn't know what was going on because they were thick. Which brings us neatly back to the modern day. So I've been thinking a lot about how politics has become like a belief system, you know. People aren't really thinking anymore about politics in terms of, you know, boring policy. There's always been a tribal element. That is when the fight started, Suzanne, yeah. But there's always been a tribal element, but it's like we're going back to a time where people are kind of like tribally fighting over land. We're not really that different from the medieval times, really, in many respects. And I'm wondering if we've lost elements of our consciousness, you know. Our self-awareness is certainly in the pits, you know, in the depths. So is it, you know, is it mad enough to think that we could all just be dead? This was the moment that Tan lost her mind live on a live stream. But, you know, it's not beyond the realms of possibility, you know. Most things within reason are possible. Sounds a little bit like as I'm stirring my tea that I didn't have time to make inexplicably. Sounds like I'm doing that thing from Get Out, where she rubs the rim with her spoon. Get your mind out the gutter. Disgusting people. Yeah, this tea is always going to be milky. I had to put the bloody milk in first, didn't I? But consciousness is fascinating to me. Because when you look at how easily people are manipulated nowadays, and people are very easily manipulated nowadays, people are still subscribing inexplicably to religious concepts that make no sense. If you're, by the way, religious in any way, or if you're a monarchist, you're not going to like this stream, probably, because I have very little patience for either of those subjugating institutions. Not a fan. You're steeping that tea far too long. There's going to be people that are going to criticise my colour no matter what I do. So, yeah, that's too milky. Oh well, I've made my bed and I'm going to lie in it. Just so you're aware tonight, this is completely ad-libbed because I didn't prepare, because I've been editing a video for fucking once. I've got a few videos actually that I've had on the back burner for a little while. Fuck the religion and fuck the monarchy, says Darren Butler. Agnostic. Oh dear. Oh dear. Tea racists. Sorry if I've not been very on top of the chat. I'm slightly fighting for my life tonight. Admittedly. I've just got into a really weird place with everything. Not, you know, I've not lost my mind completely. I've just been thinking about belief and about faith. I think a lot of it was spawned by seeing like the mad video that was re-released of Trump, you know, with them all like touching the nonce, you know, all around him as if he's some kind of god, and the convergence of state and church. And I guess that kind of ties into Iran, really, when you think about it. This is going to be a tangent evening, by the way, because as I was talking about briefly in my video today, the fake moral superiority that we're seeing from people like that nonce in the White House, the hypocrisy of it has been enraging, because the things that they're accusing Iran of doing, and Iran is objectively like a terrible regime, has been a terrible theocratic regime, right? No denying that. But the important thing about critical thinking is that you can hold two thoughts in your head at any given time, and you're not led by some kind of mad belief system related to, of all people, politicians, because they're there to fucking work for us, or they're supposed to. So you're in a situation where Iran's terrible, like all that bullshit, from a guy that is heavily implicated in the worst paedophile and trafficking ring that the world has ever seen, that is letting his secret police kill US citizens unarmed on the streets, is complaining about Iran doing exactly the same thing. Mind you, you can see why the Americans would be nonplussed about murdering a bunch of school kids, considering that's basically, because of their lax gun laws, what happens every single week in America, apparently. But there's no moral superiority here. All it comes down to is what you choose to believe and what you choose to subscribe to. That's it. That is it. That's the only difference. And the problem is, once you fall into a situation where you're in the cult, you're drinking the Kool-Aid, you know, it's like a shit Manson family. It's like the Manson family without the kind of cool haircuts, the weed, the sex and the acid, you know. It's like all the bad parts of a cult. Just the kind of like the control elements. And there's been studies that prove that specifically right-wing men are infinitely less intelligent than left-wing men. There was a study that was done on like a bunch of, I think it was, if I remember correctly, like a bunch of gifted kids, followed them throughout their lives, and none of the gifted kids turned right wing, because it comes down to critical thinking, and it comes down to logic and sense and the ability to sit with uncomfortable thoughts, like the fact that in Britain, like, our own history is horrific. Like, we've got a horrific history of colonisation and murder and raping and pillaging, and we have taken over other countries. We have done terrible things. Kitchener, Boer War, what Churchill got up to. If you're blinded by nationalism, you're not going to be thinking critically about the reality of your own country. And I think a lot of what happens and goes on in this country in terms of the serfdom, in terms of the reverence, in terms of the class system, it is, based on like heavy conditioning that we're all kind of indoctrinated from quite a young age on that front. It's undoubtedly that, but it's also like denial. When you think about the origins of the stiff upper lip, that is basically like putting up, shutting up, and dealing with whatever's thrown at you. Like Killer Mike, I saw a great video of Killer Mike talking, amazing, part of Run the Jewels, right? Talking about how, all right then, send the rich kids to war. It's always the poor kids that get sent into wars to die. How are we in a place where we just accept that? Like, what? You've got to live in a fair amount of denial. And if you're going to be asked to love your country, they've got to give you a fucking reason to love your country. We don't have a reason to love our country. So I've been thinking about all of that. And then I've also been thinking about the flip side of those that do fall into, fucking love Run the Jewels. Those that fall into this way of thinking. And when you think about it, it's just like a kink dynamic. It's like the Reform voters just want a daddy, you know. They want someone to tell them what to do and how to think. And there's a lot of homoeroticism in it. You know. Men invent sports and wars so they can touch each other and get a sense of brotherhood, and they want someone to tell them what time to get up and how to dress. It's very, it's interesting to me. Relentlessly fascinating to me. All of it. All of it. But one of the pieces that I've written for Denial, that river in Egypt, says Yuri. But now I've been thinking about this a lot today because I've written a couple of pieces for Substack. One's about the redacted, formerly known as Prince Andrew. And the other one is about how basically what happened in Gorton and Denton was, it's not just about that, because obviously I'm well behind the cycle on that, but I'm thinking about it in a broader democratic sense, you know. And I've come to realise that one of the biggest fault lines that runs through Britain is reverence, you know. It's the thing that stops us from fighting a class war. Because people of my background and generation were raised to see politics as something that the rich people do. We've all been taught that it's something that the rich people do for ages. Milky just said that 80s skinhead movement evolved in the I presume you're talking about the 80s. The difference is then we didn't have a kind of like 24/7 365 propaganda machine like we do now. That's the problem. We have a constant way for people to be influenced and manipulated. And because right-wing populism is basically all about right-wing populism, well, it's a con job, obviously, but it's all about emotion. It's all about tapping into people's negative emotions, which is a primary driver, you know. They know the psychology of this. And social media started off as a way to kind of connect us all. And it's just gradually turned into a fucking nightmare. Nobody goes out and does anything anymore. We're at the mercy of algorithms. It's like, I saw a really interesting post the other day that was like halfway through a doom scroll that I was doing. And the post simply said, "What are you looking for?" And I thought, oh, that's interesting. I screenshot it, added it to my, probably like 50,000 strong set of screenshots, and then carried on. But it's fascinating to me, all of this, and I have been getting a bit philosophical about it all, because I think that what we need to do as on the left and as progressives is we need to focus more on challenging the systems directly. We need to not think so much in terms of chasing the news cycle. Oh, got a hiccup. In terms of chasing the news cycle or reacting to the narratives that are put out there by tech bros or by billionaire newspaper owners. And we need to kind of create our own counter narrative and inform people in the hope that we can get through to at least some of them. Because things like Gorton and Denton with the Greens proved that it's possible, you know. But it's a Herculean task. You've got to wade through a lot of shit to get to the point where you can even hope to counter the sheer weight of it. I mean, the Nazis would have killed for a propaganda machine like we have nowadays. Would have killed for it. Got a super chat. Mike M. It's not Killer Mike, is it? Mike M says, thank you, dear. The men at the top of religious organisations only care about the money, sex, and power. People at the bottom use religion to survive. The middle support the men at the top in the hopes of getting there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and we're seeing that when you look at the people that fund MAGA and now Reform, hence their anti-abortion, anti-woman rhetoric that we're starting to see filter through. The biggest donors to like Turning Point, people like Charlie Kirk, people like MAGA, people like Reform now are Christian nationalist, like billionaires. And that's also very strongly linked to the anti-trans agenda. The people that are trying to make you turn on trans people, or let's face it, mostly trans women, are the same people that are funding anti-abortion campaigns and lobbies. It's not about women. Like, the anti-trans agenda is nothing to do with women. It's about pitting, it's about fragmenting groups that should be allied. It's divide and conquer. Never had even a hint of a problem with a trans person or trans woman in my life. I could give you a list of men that have harmed me or tried to harm me, you know? But yeah, the people at the bottom are very much the people that I was referring to before, the people that are like deep in denial. What motivates people to go out and put up a line of union flags isn't patriotism. I think having come from a dirt poor background, like I'm talking like I grew up in massive amount of poverty, a lot of it's probably just fucking boredom. Like, these people are bored, you know. As Jarvis Cocker said, you know, because there's nothing else to do. Is it drink and smoke and screw? In this instance, they drink and smoke and fuck flags, you know, but they're not doing that because things are great. They're doing that because they would prefer it if things were probably great, and also maybe because they're racist. and they're getting the kind of pack mentality vibe. And they're like, yeah, we're a part of something. We're a part of a community by shitting on our neighbour. And the middle, very common in, what you see working class done good in this country. The people who make enough money so they can be comfortable in the sense of having what everyone should just have anyway, which is like a roof over their head and, I don't know, maybe a holiday, a nice car, just a comfortable living where they don't have to worry about everything. And as soon as they get a bit of money, they think that they're like the millionaires or the billionaires, but you're never going to be a billionaire in your life, and you're very unlikely to be a millionaire. So I think they're just hoping that they'll get a few crumbs from the table. I think that's the mentality there. And then what are we left with? A society in which every single institution just doesn't fucking work. Peak hypernormalisation. The police force doesn't work. Full of rapists and domestic abusers, riddled with it. Just a couple of years ago, MPs rolling out of brothels, off their tits on coke. The people that make our fucking laws. Judges accused of all manner of mad shit. Every single institution is fucking rotten and doesn't work. But people, there's no party with enough imagination, or there hasn't been to date, a party with enough of a movement or enough imagination to overcome it. Instead, people fall back on the same old con artists. They fall back on looking for like a posh daddy to look after them and to tell them what's going on. And I don't even know if they care if they're manipulated. They might just have a fucking pain kink. I don't know. But no, spot on, Mike. Thank you for that prompt. I need it tonight because I'm freewheeling. Nearly said freewilling. You're a free willy. You're the crazy world of Arthur Brown. You're a small bean regarder. But I just want to say a quick hello to the people in the chat. We've got Urine Infectinov, legend. Sorry that you failed woodwork. Is that a euphemism? Thank you to Chris C and Diz, my humble mods this evening. We are the mods. Richard, 766723. Snappy username there. Winter Mute, hello you ledge. Stephen Merriman, as ever. I'm expecting a joke of the fatherly variety from him tonight. Lexiosity in the house. Witchy Gore, fellow darling. Hope your kitties are well. Yeah, it's interesting. Like what happened with the Green Party was objectively interesting. And it was really important for our democracy too, which you'll read about in my Substack post, which I've also made a bloody video about it, and that's what I've been editing. So that's what I've been editing. James Horner, thank you very much. The anti-trans lot talk about trans women who might assault other women in prison, but they don't seem that bothered about women prisoners assaulted by guards and other prisoners. They don't care about women, full stop. They don't care. They don't care. None of it's about women. None of it's about women. Did you see what happened to Hannah Spencer the other day? First few weeks in Parliament, getting harassed and chased by a bunch of supposed turfy men who were holding boards saying no men in women's spaces, whilst outnumbering a slight woman, about 15 of them, and then they started a fist fight in front of her. There was a fist fight right there. I can't imagine how scared she was, but the fucking hypocrisy of that. Like, there's no self-awareness. The men that claim to be trans exclusionary are the most misogynistic men that I've ever met. The women are deep in denial, and there's a really, like, strong crossover with the far right. Linehan, Rowling, said nothing about Epstein, have they? Increasingly pushing the anti-Muslim thing. It's a Venn diagram. The TERF, the far right Venn diagram, they have far right people on their marches. If you have far right people on your marches, there might come a point when you go, am I the bad guy? Yes. Yes. Yes, you are. Women don't even come into it, dude. They don't even come into it. They don't care. They don't care. It's just using marginalised communities as a means to an end. And I'm so sick of these people thinking that they get to speak for me. It's like the irony. I've had like TERFs try to mansplain feminism at me. Are you fucking mad? Are you mad? Where is Freddie Mercury? He's having a little sleep on the daybed, which is, I'm surprised because my light is there and it's kind of like pushing the light upwards. So he is sleeping uplit this evening. My chair is bare. But he was resting his fat ass against my shoulder earlier and it was annoying me, so. Freddie! Tins. I might be able to get him to come. Frederick! No, that's about as much effort as I'm putting into trying to find Freddie tonight. What am I, chopped liver? Says Ollie Bockus. No, you are not. What happened? All right, Snarkonymous. What happened to the new party being put together by Corbyn? Is it a real thing? It was a fucking shambles, mate. It was a shambles. It was shambolic. I saw it coming. Like, I've never seen a new party in such a shambles as that just kept going. Like, their commitment to the bit was, spot on. It was terrible. Like, the most shambolic launch ever. Like, Zara Sultana dropped a tweet at, 8 p.m. on a Tuesday. And then they had, a massive problem and infighting amongst each other over who was even the leader. And then they had, a massive fuck up with all the donations to their party. It was, and then I was like, they've got to give it up. Surely, this is so bad. They've got to give it up. And then, the Times released a bunch of WhatsApps of, the infighting that was happening. It was insane. And yeah, I think they're still trying. I think they're still trying to give it a go, but they should just be just give it up, man. Just no. It's just not. No. Who saw that coming? No, I think the Greens have got a good, I really admire what the Greens are doing. I wasn't convinced at first. I wasn't, initially convinced. Sorry, my cat just freaked me out the corner of my eye. I'm a bit freaked out tonight because I had a bunch of scallies. I heard someone, what sounded like someone kicked my front door. Trying to bash my front doors in. Yeah, it freaked me out. Why hasn't Corbyn tried to join the Greens? Ego, mate. There's no one in politics with an ego like Jeremy Corbyn. Doesn't mean he's not right about a bunch of stuff. He is. He is right about a bunch of stuff. He's also wrong about a bunch of stuff. but he'll never admit that he's wrong about anything. Like, that party, I'm telling you, because Corbyn's involved, they're never going to give it up. It could just be Corbyn in a room on his own with a couple of biscuits, and he will not give it up. He won't. He will battle on until the bitter end. You know, he'll have his tie wrapped around his head. He'll be on the allotment. He'll be digging the graves of his fallen comrades. And he will be drinking from like a bottle of Victory gin and burying them and then planting turnips over the top and then going off and making some jam for some local homeless people. And he'll be meeting in the church community centre as the nuclear bombs rain down. I think Corbyn will outlive us all. Yeah. I think he'll live forever. I've just got a feeling about that. I don't know why. You're welcome, Elle. You are welcome. Graham Linehan ruined his own life. He resembles a man that had a curse put on him to turn him into a beaver, but it didn't quite work. That's what Graham Linehan looks like. It's not good. I might get him to come. Elle, get your mind out of the gutter, please. Oh, Chrissy, please show some support to Alex over at Political X. Yeah, my lovely friend Alex. Hello, Alex. Does the Sunday roast. Alex is a man that I'm very bad at texting back, and I'm so sorry about it. But he's been putting on some really. He's I would say Alex is like he's like a really great ideas guy. Every time I talk to Alex, he's got a new idea, and it's often very good. Very good. Yeah. He's got a lot of irons in the fire, if that's the correct term. I think it's the correct term. I just thought someone had put in the chat Pat Mustard. But it wasn't just Linehan that worked on Father Ted, which makes me feel a little bit better about still loving it. Plus the actors made it, and the living actors have disowned the wanker, so you know, it's all good. Yeah, I don't know where we're going. I don't know where we're going. I don't know if we're already dead. I don't know where we've been. What I do know is that shit's really bleak, and it's been bleak for quite a long time, and everyone is absolutely sick of shit that I know. Anyone that's like me, that's been like, I met a lot of friends through politics, and we have our own WhatsApp groups where we all just get together and we're all like Edvard Munch's The Scream, and we're sharing stuff. Pretty much everyone that I know that's been doing this, I'm sure Alex will agree, everyone just goes through stages of like cyclical burnout where we're just like, oh, I had a really bad one around Christmas, New Year, which I'm still trying to claw myself out of. Because it is just been one thing after another, like one thing after another, like most weeks for like years. Very reassuring comment there from Paul Gilbert, who just said, "We are not dead." Cheers, man. But that's exactly what what my mind would tell me if I was dead, isn't it? You know, think about the dreams that you have where they put in like little Easter eggs for you, you know. If your mind didn't want you to know you're dead, it would create a comment in the live stream that you're doing when you inexplicably, during the midst of the pandemic, built up an online following of like across your platforms like nearly 1 million people. And it would be like putting in that comment section, you're not dead. I keep hearing like scary noises, man. It's freaking me out. If I get murdered on a live stream, avenge me. I'm just trying to think about what I could use as a weapon. You know, just like those of you that were here for the Big Bang when I had to get the broom, that was a real low point, wasn't it? Stephen Boyd Merriman, thank you, my dear, my lovely. Last week, Tan made tea on a string. What balance? ¿Qué? Qu'est-ce que c'est? You might have to explain that one to me. They're always good when you have to explain them, aren't they? They're always good. You put Robbie Williams in my head now. Because I had a thing on Threads the other day where we were talking, there was like this post that went around where people were talking about I love the way that I'm just Googling it mid-sentence, like this is just what I do on live stream. People were talking about the best lyric of all time. And it went crazy, man. People like were posting like their favourites. And I was thinking of the line from Wichita, fuck me. I was thinking of the line from Wichita Lineman, which I think is one of the most beautiful and poignant lyrics of all time, which is, and I need you more than want you, and I want you for all time. Little Beauty. And I don't know why I thought of that. I think it was because I was thinking of the Robbie Williams. I don't want to die, but I'm something living either. I can't remember. Anyway, that was a great little segue, wasn't it? Great little segue. I'm not at all professional tonight. If you're tuning in from my Substack where I made the mistake of advertising this, just to let you know, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I am just sick of shit. I'm not mad on drugs. Can't be asked to meet hippies behind Tesco anymore. That's the only reason, you know. Not on any moral level. Like that was the whole thing that was going around in the run up to the Green election, wasn't it? It was like, oh, the Green Party, they're going to get everyone on crack. Fucking love some crack. Like it might make life a bit easier, really. Might make life a bit easier. But I will tell you one highlight of my week. And I was too... I was too behind on things to actually get the picture up on the screen. But one of the best things this week that has happened has been Andrew Tate. I have twice in a week gone semi-viral roasting the shit out of Andrew Tate. The first was that bizarre video of him dancing to Amazing by George Michael. George Michael would have fucking hated him. And I referred to him as the least fuckable, objectively the least fuckable man ever born. But I have to say that whoever came up with the term Lawrence of dry labia to describe Andrew Tate, I would buy them a cocktail jug. Absolutely genius. It's up there with Ewok Powell to describe Tommy Robinson. Lawrence of dry labia. It was and the thing is, because it was trending, he knows. Like, he's always on Twitter. He's gonna know. It's gonna get back to him. You know, you can't be trending having been called Lawrence of dry labia and not know about it. Beautiful work, beautiful wordplay. You know, it's things like that that make me think I may never delete these apps, you know. May never delete them. Adam Gordon, thank you for the super there. Laugh my arse off, said Adam Gordon. Stephen Boyd Merriman, I bought myself a sad lamb this winter. Didn't help. Oh, I'd love a lamb. I'd love a lamb. Oh, a sad lamb. Make the lamb happy again. I'd make the lamb happy again by cuddling it. I'm really shocked that I haven't been banned from Twitter yet. Like, I've never been banned once, which is shocking, because I've dished out quite a lot of really quite close to the knuckle roastings on there. Oh, Urine Infectinov. Yeah, I have to say that your Urine Infectinov's description of... I've told other people about that. That's how good it is. Urine Infectinov described Tommy Robinson after the gay advertising incident as Closy Osborne. Closy Osborne. Ewok Powell. Another funny thing that came out at the height of the Tories was the fact that Rishi Sunak's name is an anagram of high risk anus. High risk anus is an anagram of Rishi Sunak's name. Yeah. There's some information for you. There's loads of great names rolling around. This is that kind of shit makes me feel proud to be British, you know. Things that make me proud to be British are, I think I've talked about this before, but there's no harm in repeating them, because I'm not going to lie to you, I'm low on material tonight. So I'm so sorry, I'm very unresearched. You're just getting a Lounge Tan, who it's not a hairy knee, by the way, it's my tights. The things that make me proud to be British: roast dinners. Roast dinners. The fact that you used to be able to really easily find porn in bushes. You know? You used to be able to find a jazz mag. Sometimes you still can, and it's magical. Just at the side of the road in a bush, there'd be jazz mags. Gentlemen's entertainment magazines. You'd be walking along. Oh, there's a vag in the bush, you know. That's what we used to get. Jungle, DJ Assassin UK. Yes, jump up. Rave scene. We invented the rave scene. Music. Obviously, some of the best bands in the world were British. What else? Oh, God. What else? The fact that when someone drops a pint in the pub, everyone goes, way, in unison. That makes me happy. Obviously, The Prodigy. I can't just name all the bands, but off the top of my head, Radiohead, Queen, The Beatles, Led Zepp. They were British, weren't they? Michael Kiwanuka. Hello, Fred. Come and say hello. What's this? What's this? Can you smell weed? That's quite a common one. Like the urge to say that. Yeah, so there's lots of reasons. The countryside. The fact that we make some of the best curries thanks to immigration. Fred for PM. Might yet happen. Larry the cat. Him and Larry the cat could team up. I'm trying to coax him in. He's being a bit weird tonight. Bush in the bush, indeed. The NHS, obviously. The NHS. Awkward comedy. Yeah, like, we've got some of the best comedy ever. Bottom. Unique comedy, too. Bottom. Vic and Bob. You know. The Specials. Fighting over who plays the jukebox, indeed. The fucking Morning Birds, indeed. Come on, Bubs. Come on, Tintins. Oh, he's not going to come. Come on. There's a Fred. There's a Fred. I was going to have Red Dwarf, obviously, yeah. Bonsoir. Waking up in someone's garden after a heavy night's drinking. Generally drinking. Like, we're brilliant at drinking. Absolutely brilliant at it. Like, other countries, they're like, oh, we're going to be indulging in some day drinking. And I'm like, that's just drinking. This is just called drinking. Underage drinking. We're very good at that too. He can see himself in the mirror in the bathroom. Mirror in the bathroom. The Beat. Emily Bronte. Oh, Cornish pasty. Yeah, the Cornish seaside. The Scottish coast. Cocaine. Would you like a cup of tea, Father? It's got cocaine in it. There's so much. Come on. Come on. Come say hello. There we go. Fred's in the house. There's a little Freddy boy. There's a little Freddy boy. Kate Bush. Bush in bushes. Chip butties, yes. You see, we've got a lot of things that are cultural signifiers that are better than exactly plenty to be proud of. Pubs, the notion of having pubs. You know. Boop, 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 boop. Cheesy peas. Fuck is wrong with you, man? What are you saying, El? But there's lots of like cultural Stonehenge. I love the way that it's like, yeah, you bloody goth. Ooh, Stonehenge. I'm Not in Love, 10cc. Fuck me, I love that song so much. Really do. Hello, Eileen. Oh shit, I've now, oh no. Hi Tiny. Hi Tiny. Unlock me. There we go. Oh, but you've got a better view of Fred now that Tiny's locked into me. Shit, I had some supers. Cucumber sandwiches are mad. I've never understood them. CMDR DJ Burp. Thanks for the difficult read there. What did the cannibal do after dumping his girlfriend? Wiped his bum. You just made Fred turn away in disgust. And that's quite difficult to do because sometimes his sister tries to rim him. So it's probably quite difficult for him to be disgusted. Questionable absurdity. Hello. It's been a while. What are your thoughts on Piketty Capital? Well, I haven't read it. I haven't read that copy of it, but the irony is that version of Capital was bought for me by my reluctant landlord, who is an anarcho-syndicalist. Like, he's probably the only socialist landlord in existence. He's an amazing guy. He rents out his house because he can't sell it because it's co-owned by a family member. So he's like, he just rents it out to keep it going whilst he's abroad. But yeah. Stephen Boyd Merriman. I will get round to it. I have read excerpts of it, but it's a thick book, you know. You're going to have to give like 6 months of your life to that book. So I find it, and my attention span's terrible. So what I tend to do is have the physical copies of books for reference, and I listen to audiobooks to help with the old ADHD. Stephen Boyd Merriman. Tonight's star prize is a fabulous lounge tan. Oh, I've moved out of the lounge position now. It's a fabulous lounge tan. The Clash. Yes, Queen. Yes, Queen. So I'm just catching up, just getting back into the main swing of things. I've stopped ranting. Oh my god, I've just done the Princess Diana voice. I don't know if I want to do this. Like, I don't know if I'm fulfilling something rude here. Like some like really low budget shit babe station or something. Hi Tan, please say the following lyrics in a Princess Diana voice. You tulip, you pea-brained earwig, you punk. You silver-tongued snake. I'd rather make furniture than go to midnight mass. Wasn't my best, but I was worried that I was being set up. Like I was reading some kind of satanic verse that's going to make my cat go and murder me up. I did it, but I trust that you're not, you know. Here he is. Are you not amused? Hello, Tubby. Hello, Chubs. Boop, 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 boop. I get like an obsessive urge to massively annoy those I love. Phoenix Nights. I'm getting the word nonce. I said rave culture, yeah. I mean, there's so much to be proud of in this country. So much. Like, and what there is to be proud of has got nothing to do with the people that feel like they're born to rule over us. It's got nothing to do with them. It's us. It's our kind of like our culture, our personality, our shared experiences. And we've lost that cultural hook. because things have become so disparate and disconnected and divided, we don't have like shared cultural moments anymore. Well, I've talked about it in the past. Like on a Friday night, you used to have like, you could have in your room, like in your lounge, your nan, your parents, the kids, all watching the maddest selection of music possible on Top of the Pops. You'd have like, I don't know, Rhythm is a Dancer, followed by some novelty song where someone's dressed as, I don't know, a giant bird. Like Nirvana. You know, a few years later, Oasis, the I don't know, a child's choir, a heavy jungle or rave song, you know, I like to move it, or something like that. Like, it was just, there was like an anarchic energy about it before we were all just looking into our phones constantly, searching for the connection that we desperately crave in real life, yet have become afraid of. Dating apps have completely ruined human connection in many ways. The lack of accountability socially has made people treat each other appallingly. People that go into it all like doe-eyed and hopeful end up becoming like ultra avoidant because that's the only way that they can cope with the soul destroying process of it all. And because you've not got, you know, it used to be you'd meet people through groups of friends, you know, but nowadays it's all online. There's no kind of like point of connection or link, and you end up in situations where people just treat people like they're disposable entities, you know, not people with hopes and dreams of forming loving connections. And that is just the perfect kind of like metaphor for all of it. We are very lost. I think that banning most of social media would sort us out a bit. They're never going to do it though, because they're like, I don't know, they should have started regulating these companies, these billionaires, like over a decade ago. We've missed the boat somewhat, haven't we, Fred? We've missed the boat somewhat. And that is worrying, because you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Yeah. Stuart Lee, excellent comedian. Yeah, one of my favourites actually. Okay, Tan, says Chris Lark. Thank you for the super. Maybe you can help explain this one. The English, the Scottish and the Irish are known for being heavy drinkers, but not the Welsh. Why do you think that is? You'd have thought that I'd have some input on this, considering that I've got very strong Welsh heritage, which is why I'm so milky and prone to getting a bit flushed from booze. It could be the Celtic curse, but then that wouldn't really account for why the Scottish and the Irish are big drinkers. The Celtic curse, by the way, isn't anything enormously mythical. It's like being prone to rosacea. Maybe, I think they probably are. Maybe they're just a bit more quiet about it. I don't know, actually. That's a really interesting question. Because obviously there was quite a strong mining community before Thatcher fucked everything with her managed decline. So there was a really strong working class identity, and with that comes the pub and the, you know, the local and all of that business. So I don't know. I really don't know. Oh, Vivienne Westwood, yes. Yes. Not so much Malcolm McLaren. Can't stand the fucking Sex Pistols. They piss me off. I don't know that. If there's any Welsh people in the chat who could explain this, I would be appreciative. Well, there's no guardrails though. Like, people would get used to there being a restriction, but we've missed the boat on that. It's too late. I'm not saying there's no point me, saying anything about it anyway, because it's never going to fucking happen, is it? It's never going to happen. It's never gonna happen. Someone just said Tan's more niche, prefers Daniel Kitson. Now I need to look up who Daniel Kitson is. Oh, comedian and actor. I just don't think that Chris Morrison Brassai. Yeah, I was gonna say Dylan Thomas. But then, it's different nowadays. It's different nowadays. But no, I just think that we're in a state where you can't really undo it now, and all we've got left to look forward to is like the sweet relief of death, if we're not already dead. Neat little segue back to the beginning there. I just think we've reached a point where, I wouldn't be surprised, frankly. That's just wouldn't be surprised. But I'm going to probably have to wrap this up. I've hit over an hour. And thank you for tuning in, despite the fact that I was very unprepared this evening. The Chris Morris 2 Unlimited interview. I'm not surprised that someone called Shatner's Bassoon is saying that. Absolutely love Chris Morris and Brassai. I would say that, famous UK authors, like, I wouldn't say that they're the best UK authors, like William Shakespeare and Agatha Christie. They're like classics, aren't they? I think there's been like a lot of really great female authors that have been quite overlooked in history. Kirsty Hamilton, hello dear. Welsh gave up drinking because they previously had problems with spelling. Yeah, after goch, 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 they decided to pack it in, because they started spelling towns with like 75 words. And they thought, oh, better lay off the sauce now. We've taken it too far, David. We've taken it too far. Stephen Boyd Merriman. Tea joke refers to last week's tea bag on a string panic. Oh, right. Sad lamps in sad lamp. Sad lamb in sad lamp. I understood that one. Methodist and Baptist churches in Wales didn't like alcohol. Oh, okay. Bloody religious people ruining all our fun. As usual. I'm going to make it my mission in life to destroy the fun of all the religious people. Not that they fucking have any. Ever. Robert. Tan, please keep doing these, please. Tan, keep doing these, please. You're fantastic. Thank you. Well, I thought because I've been a bit behind on my videos, I'm not finished yet, Stephen. Because I've been a bit behind on my videos, that I would keep up with my live streams, at least. God, my hair's a mess. I'm getting my hair did tomorrow. That's why I look a little bit like Wurzel Gummidge today. But I am actually recording again. But last week I hadn't even started trying to record again. Blue Jam says Hannon Minkin Tube. Brilliant. Horrific series by Chris Morris. Like, terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. I don't think I've missed two there, Stephen. Stephen Boyd Merriman. Did you sit in astonishment, thank you, as your parents laughed hilariously at Terry and June? Have you noticed how observational comedians aren't funny? I don't know if I ever remember my parents watching Terry and June. My parents were like mega young when they had me. So I was raised on the opposite of observational comedy, really. I was raised on things like Bottom and Vic and Bob and like Eurotrash and The Word, and even though I was well too young. But yeah, I have noticed that observational comedy isn't funny. It's like I think it's one of the lowest form of wit, really. I just don't feel like it's got any place, really. But the problem is, it's lowest common denominator shit, isn't it? And people just lap that up. Because sadly, a lot of people aren't particularly clever. Wintermute, Blue Labour video, when Tan. I could knock out a little explainer on Blue Labour if you're interested in it. Give me a little heart react if you want me to chat. If you'd like me to knock out, like, I don't know, a little 8-minute video on Blue Labour, just explaining what it's all about, and offer my opinion on it. My opinion on it is sweary. So if you'd like that, just tap the little heart button, and I will do it. We had one heart there. Wow. One. But I don't remember Terry and June. Weirdly. Well, I'm going to make a note of that because I think that is probably like a good little thing to do a little explainer on. Knowledge is power, after all. Just going to write on a piece of stray paper a little note to self. Do a video on Blue Labour, you twat. Right, done a little note to self there. So there we go. Thank you for that. I can tell, Stephen Boyd Merriman, that you are probably an enthusiast of Vic and Bob. I mentioned doing a Blue Labour video before Christmas. I did go into a bit of detail about it on a live stream a couple of weeks ago. I outlined like the Morgan McSweeney Blue Labour shtick. So it's cool. I can do it. But I've mentioned a lot of things, I think, before Christmas. But that was when I hit kind of like peak burnout. So I wasn't really in a frame of mind to do it. But no, thank you to everyone that's tuned in tonight, and to my amazing, lovely mods, Chrissy and Diz. I don't think I've forgotten anyone there. I hope I haven't. I'll feel guilty forever if I have. Thank you to everyone that's dropped a comment in. If you could give the stream a like, I'd really appreciate it. On your way out. And thank you to everyone that said hello to little Frederick. Freddie, show them your pretty face. Bashing him in the chops. Come here, you little twat. Come on. There we go. There's Fred's little chops. But yeah, like tonight has really been just me checking in and saying hello and being very chilled out. It hasn't so much been a ranty one tonight. Because I've been a bit preoccupied today. But it's always nice to come in for the bants. It's always nice for you to send your love from your cats to mine. Thank you for that, Yuri. Sorry, Yuri. Give him a hug from me. Give him a hug from me. It's a hard time of year, things like this. I just don't think they should do them. I have my own difficulties there. I just don't think it's, yeah. But, oh, Alex. Alex, thank you for your little super chat. And it's weird when you get one from a friend, isn't it? Thank you. Alex has got a great book out as well. I'm going to have to, I can't remember the title from a glance. Oh, Alex, can you remind me of the title of your book, please? Because like a bell end, I've forgotten the name of your book. But Alex put out a great book. It's close to a Noam Chomsky title, but we don't want to talk about him, do we? Old Epstein Chomsky. But Alex is not Chomsky. He's never been to the island, and he's written a brilliant book. So I'm so sorry, Alex. You give me a super chat, and then I say all that. Manufacturing Fear. Darren de Start. Brilliant. Legend. Thank you, Darian. Manufacturing Fear by Alex Kerr. Almost forgot your fucking name. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Joe Brailsford. You reading these comments? Love to smash you. Yeah, join the fucking queue, mate. Join the queue. Although I doubt that you would be capable, dear. Yeah. Doubt you'd be capable. Because men that write things like that in YouTube comment section have rarely got the dick to shag with, frankly. Very rarely do they have the ability. Usually because their mums didn't hug them enough. What's your relationship like with your mum? Not good, no. No. Was she a bit absent when you were younger? Yeah. Like physically there. She was physically there, but she didn't really want to cuddle you much, no? No. I bet she wished she'd had a wank, frankly. Than producing the kind of son that says, I would love to smash you in the comment sections of women's YouTubes. Because men who can get it don't do that, do they? No. No, they don't. I'll leave him alone now, because I could keep going forever. And that's probably given him enough to think of. Look, Eco Jock, man, I'm not even bothered by it. I've survived 5 years on a online. That's sport to me. I was enjoying that. I was enjoying it. He's gone now. It's like the bit on the GoldenEye. Natalia has died. I used to have such a great time roasting men on TikTok. I miss it, you know. I'd get comments like that and I would like make them very sad about their existence. It's so fun. There's no part of me that's personally hurt by that, just so you're aware. Stephen Boyd Merriman, before I wrap up, Stephen Boyd Merriman. Twin robbers used pair of tights to hide identity. Thank you, Stephen. Some people would love the thought of that. Right, I'm going to fuck off. I've sworn an awful amount tonight. It's been a nervous tick, not a real tick. No. But I will be back at roughly the same time next Wednesday. Yeah, don't forget to smash my like button. You're allowed to smash that. You're allowed to smash that. But until next time, don't go shagging flags to try to please me. You've never let me down before. No. I'm out this motherfucker. I'm going to play that outro again, I think. Or the intro again. Because it's fucking weird. Bye!